someone who has really had a significant impact on my thinking in business. Let's see. Well, I'll give you two, actually. One, because I could go really far in my past and tell you about the hot dog stand I used to work on the Jersey Shore. My uncle, I spent my earlier years learning business by I say hot dog stand. It was actually a very big operation. It was a national park in New Jersey. But I worked my way up through the ranks, making the hot dogs and then counting the money and the whole bit. But it really taught me how business works. So that's sort of like a basic business thing. But when I got into, later in my life, a profession and got into advertising, I had the pleasure of working with Jay Chiat, who was the founder of Chiat Day, legendary ad agency. And Jay, when I think about him, I think in a similar way to the way I think about Steve Jobs. I think they were cut from the same cloth in a certain way in their ability to walk into a room and get people aligned and to get them to cut out the distractions and focus on what's really important. Jay was kind of like, he's like the president of the agency in Mad Men, actually. He had a witty response for everyone, oftentimes somewhat of an insult, but he could just sort of prod people that way. But he was so quick on his feet. His wit was something. In fact, they wrote a book about him at the ad agency, a small book that they distributed internally called Quotations from Chairman Jay. And it was just one quote on a page. And there were one in particular that I talked about because I experienced it myself, was when he screamed at me one day and said, "I'm not yelling at you, I'm yelling at the situation." So, okay, I won't take it personally then, the fact that you're screaming your guts out at me. So there were things like that. He was a very quotable guy, but he really knew his business. And like I say, like Steve Jobs could do, there could be a room of 10 people, all with varying opinions, and he could cut through and get everyone aligned. When you left that room, you would know exactly what you have to do. And to me, that was, I guess, my earliest exposure to this whole simplicity idea. Rather than have all these conflicting ideas floating about, he had a way of taking all this energy that existed in the agency and focusing it on one thing so everyone knew where we were going and how we were going to get there. So I thank him a lot for that.